it's Ryan here, and in this video I'm going to discuss the topic of values, and specifically why values are so important and how we will use them across this coaching program. So human values are the most important aspect of personal development, human behaviour, and it's really a cornerstone of helping you transform your mind, health and your body. So this whole coaching program, I'm going to be using values throughout it. So understanding your unique hierarchy of values is absolutely essential if you want to transform your mind and your body. So on the topic of values, I just want to give you a bit of an insight into what values actually are. So values, we all have a unique hierarchy of values. They're fingerprint specific. My hierarchy of values, your hierarchy of values, and the other people within this program's values are all completely unique. People have similar kind of values, but our values come from our voids, the emptiness, the things that we perceive to be most missing, which gives us that desire of wanting to fulfill that void. So when I mention values, a lot of people think I'm talking about these social idealisms of integrity, honesty, trustworthy. That's not what this is about. In fact, you will be integral, honest, trustworthy when you're living congruently with your hierarchy of values. Now, with values, we all automatically, unconsciously perceive, decide and act through our hierarchy of values, whether we recognise it or not. Now, when we recognise it, that's where the magic starts to happen. When we know what our specific hierarchy of values are, from first, second, third, maybe even through to 7, there's no real end to our values, but there is a kind of top high priority. A good example is, say, a kid who loves computer games, video games. They do not need to be reminded. They don't get told, like, right, okay, you need to play your games. They automatically do it. They spontaneously act on their highest values in the same way you do. So by understanding what the specific hierarchy is and what actions we take to fulfill those values, we can get pretty clear on who we are, but also who we are, where we're going. So as I said, you perceive, you decide, you act based on those values, which really does make it the most important thing to know about yourself. There's that old adage in the Bible, which is know thyself, be thyself to love thyself. Something along the lines of that. When you know your values, you know who you are. So it's the start of this whole coaching program, and it's really how I'm going to help you with the mindset aspect of things. Throughout the whole Become Your Best program, the whole framework, we've got the values, vision, goal setting, fear setting, all the way through. When we understand our values, we can start to clarify how each part of this program is actually going to fulfill our hierarchy of values. And if we don't see the links, we're not going to feel intrinsically inspired to do it. You're going to require motivation to get it done, and that's not what this program's about. This program's about inspiring you by asking you the quality questions and giving you the tools and the support and the guidance that all the things that I've used in my own personal journey is what I'm delivering to you, so that you can go ahead and create your own transformation using what's worked for me. Because if it's worked for me, most certainly it can work for you. So with the values, the action I'd like you to take is go to drdmartini.com/values. I will insert a link at the bottom of this video. But it's a 13-step process which encourages you to reflect on what your life currently demonstrates. So the 13 questions, you're looking at how you fill your space with most. So you're looking at your immediate environment, what's closest to you, what do you pretty much always have in your space. You look at what's first most, second most and third most, and when you get an idea of what's priority in your space, you then want to think, well, what are these things used for? So once you identify the items, what are they used for? The second question is, how do you fill your time? Well, how do you spend your time most? So if I was a drone watching over you for the course of a day, of a week, what would you be spending your time on? If it's work, what does that mean to you? Again, second, if it's with the kids, what does that mean to you? Third, you get the point there. And it's the same for all the questions. You're just looking at what your life demonstrates, which is the important thing here. You don't want to just write what you think it should be or what you want it to be. It's about what actually is. The more honest you are with these questions, the more impactful, the more powerful they're going to be. So there's space, time, but then we keep going all the way through. So energy, what gives you the most energy? What energizes you most? What do you always find energy for? If I was to look at a bank, what do you spend your money on most? Where are you most ordered and organised? Where are you most disciplined, reliable and focused? What do you think about most that shows the evidence of coming true? What do you visualise and then realise most in your life? So what do you see in your mind's eye when you shut your eyes of your future and how it's going to look? What do you speak to yourself about most? What do you talk to others about most, or what keep bringing the conversations to? What's the other ones? What inspires you most, or what's most common to the people who inspire you? What's your most consistent long-term goals that are showing evidence of becoming true? What do you love to learn about most? To read and listen and study? Those 13 questions, they give evidence of what your hierarchy of values are. So when you answer them honestly, you'll then be able to summarise those answers. So you'll have 39 answers. When you look through them, you'll be able to summarise them into your first, second and third. Of course, fourth, fifth, you can also go on with them. But the most important ones we want to focus on is the top 3 highest values in your life right now. And when we know them, we know what's most important to you, we know what's priority to you, we know what's most meaningful, inspiring, and we know where you have the most certainty, the most presence, the most inspiration, confidence, clarity. Basically, you're not going to feel fulfilled and inspired by your life if you don't know your values. And once we know your values, you're then able to prioritise your actions in your life, in your day, in your week, according to those values. There's so much we can do with it. And me speaking right now about values, it's barely scratching the surface. So what I ask is that you trust that this is the most life-changing exercise that you could do. And I believe that with absolute certainty, because once you know your values, you know who you are, and you understand yourself on a much deeper level. If you ever compare yourself to others, or put other people above you, or put other people below you, or have this fantasy of how you would love your life to be, like, knowing your values can really dissolve a lot of the bullshit, clear it, get clear on your path and who you really are, and get you out of this whole emotional polarity, help you become more self-governed, a master of yourself, a master of your destiny, if you like. Now, please go ahead, take half an hour to 45 minutes to complete the values determination process. I promise you won't regret it, and the time spent there is going to save you well over 10 times the time, the energy, the effort, the money. When you're living congruently and in alignment with what matters most, you don't feel the need to go and seek pleasure and avoid pain. You can embrace both pain and pleasure in pursuit of your purpose. And your purpose is a reflection of your higher values. It's your first, second and third. So please trust me when I say this is the most important part of this whole programme. If you don't do anything else, then at least do this. I promise the money that you've paid for this coaching programme will be worth it. So once you've done the values determination process, please go ahead and send me over a snapshot of the pie chart that you'll get. And once you've done that, we can then perhaps book in a call so that we can actually confirm what your hierarchy of values are, just having a wee chat and just getting me to ask you those questions just to make sure that the hierarchy you wrote down is completely true. Now this process, it should be repeated every 3 months because your values do change over time. The values you have just now are not going to be the exact same as what they'll be in a year. Depending on what's happening in your life, or your intensity, the momentum that you're gaining towards empowering your life, your values will change. And every 3 months is what the kind of suggested time that Dr. Demartini gives to do the values determination. So please, once you've done them, send me over a snapshot and we can have a chat about it, and we can really take this to the next level. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.